is day 3 of Tokyo Game Show, and there's been a ton of new screenshots and pictures that have come out of King's Raid. A lot of very exciting little details to point out and notice. Now, while we get started, everyone's Twitter account will be on the top right corner of the screen. Feel free to check them out and you can look at the pictures yourselves. But first picture here, we can see of the whole actual booth. Now, we kind of already knew it. The booth was and is very small. It is simply just a table with 2 screens, 2 setups for people to play. The left screen seems to have some kind of an error or a notice going on. It does seem to be in essentially English. It does seem to say, please try again later. So this guy's clearly playing in English. And on the other side, we can actually see the world map for chapter 1, and it doesn't appear to have actually an access into chapter 2. So for the TGS version, it seems to be exclusively chapter 1. Next up, we actually got a nice picture of the stockade. So in the stockade, we can see that everything looks the same, which is great. You've got little turtles. This person is actually using Miri and Lorraine again, which is awesome. And they're actually playing on half auto. I really like that we're actually seeing some more of little other bits of content, which is great. We can see Jane has the buffs on her. So those still look the same. We can see they leveled up or acquired Miri, which is nice. And there's even actually the Sonya game. The little Sonya jumping game, which is very cute. That is still in the game, which is awesome. But next up, we have this picture, which actually came from the Discord. So this person actually went in to look at the costumes. Not necessarily all the costumes. We can only see the loadouts that you could save, but they still have the UI for the costumes and the accessories, and everything still seems to be in place, which is awesome. And we can actually see Cleo's model looking cute as always. And next up, the most important thing, Transcendence perks are back. Guys, this is massive. We still have the old school Transcendence perks before Vesper ruined everything. We have our lights and darks for all the skills back. This is amazing. This is great news. This is what we wanted. So they seem to not have decided yet what they wanted to do, because they were saying they wanted to do some kind of class system. But of course, everyone I think pushed back pretty hard on it. Maybe they can just expand the trans system and add class perks, class specific perks similar to T1 and T2. Who knows? Because Vesper did add those little locks on the side. So there is possibility for expansion, but for now, Transcendence perks are back. We can see here Jane's S3 Dark, which is the cleansing everyone from the debuffs, which is great. So she's going to be really good probably in TC3. One of the most important things that have come out from today is this. Great stuff. Great news. Next up, we actually have this post, which is interesting for a handful of reasons. First up, we can see our first look at the manual. Still looking cool as always. On the left side, we can actually also see Roy, Cleo, Maria, and Raffi. This person also took some more pictures for us. So first up, we have one of the skills, and this appears to be a unique weapon selector. Now, what's interesting about it is I don't know if I will hide myself for a second, you can see that in the list we can only see Celine and the manual. So I don't know if during this TGS version these are the only characters for archers in the game. I could see that happening. This is only the archer list, but it still is curious to see. Luna's not in the TGS version, so we're not going to get any Luna images, unfortunately. Hopefully in the CBT, I'll be able to play with Luna and let you guys know if she is the same, better, or worse. That's very interesting. Next up from this post, we did get this little screen that they're clearly using as advertising. We get another clearer picture of the map, and here we can see even clearer that there is no Veronica and there is no Gladdy. We can still see Estelle running around, and there's also no Talisha dungeon, I just realized. So we'll see when they add those in. Next up, we have some actual in-game pictures. Now, it is only pictures, but it's still interesting. So in this first picture, we can actually see some Jane, Dim, and Lorraine going on. They are still all playing on auto, which is fine. We can see Jane at the front looking awesome. You can see the DPS charts. Jane is pretty high up, which is impressive. She was always pretty good at surprising DPS as a tank. She's pretty high up there. Lorraine is still doing her thing, and Dim is top DPS, which is nice. We actually see some more over in this screenshot. From this screenshot, we can actually pick up a couple of interesting things. In this left monitor, you can see it says version 1 on the top, which means they might actually be using this Luna, and it's also saying downloading remote version. So they are using this Luna art for the potential logging screen, which is very interesting. On the other screen, we can actually see 3 other characters we haven't seen before. Roy, Dim, and Raffi are being used, which is very, very cool. We can actually see at the end screen as well, with a couple of buttons on the side. side, the stats button is still there. Everything seems pretty much the same as it always has been, but it's great to see some new characters. Next up, we have this picture. Now, this picture is, again, nothing much, but we actually see the chapter rewards for chapter 1, which apparently people have checked and has been nerfed. There's been some changes there. And on the right side, we can actually see a couple of characters we haven't seen in the last video. We can actually see Jane, Lorraine, and Miriam actually being used, which is very, very nice. Next up, we have this picture, but we can see the world map. And if you notice, there's something kind of interesting missing right around here, right around here. That's right. There's no Gladdy and there's no Veronica. Now, my theory is that this is probably just a case of, you know, they blocked out guild content and they blocked out PvP for the TGS version just to avoid people going into it when they don't need to. But we can see Loman is still there, May Shop, and the Reforge, and even the Heroes Inn is all still there. Next up, this is the other section of the map. We can see the top, so the little new area still is there, and the podium of like the top clearers in guild raid and world boss and all that. Now, next up in this screenshot, we can actually see two little things. Once again, we have the chests, which is interesting. So these were the gifts that came during the day at different times, which is very fancy. And we actually see, once even clearer, the chapter reward missions. We'll see what they do with that. Maybe it's just a TGS version, maybe it'll be the forever version, but there has definitely been changes, which is very nice. So looking at the right screen, we can actually see an error pop up, which is unable to find data, temporary data source. So there's still something happening. Maybe it's just a bad internet in the event location, or maybe it is still the game throwing up its lovely errors as it always has been. But hey, the errors were nostalgic at this point. You can see another picture here of the world map, chapter 1 in particular, and this person has changed their character over to Miri, which is very nice. UI all still looks the same. Last picture we have is a few little other of the gifts and the cards. You can see a couple of Jane, some Shayas, some Lavril, some Frey, and the same Cleo from the other day. That is basically all we have for today, guys. So pretty big stuff, pretty interesting, pretty exciting, you know, especially with like the trans perks being finally confirmed, some confirmation of some changes into the kits, which is interesting, some confirmation of change into the rewards as well. Masang is definitely doing some changes, which is good to see. Let's see if we get anything new from tomorrow. There are some people in the Discord saying that Masang has asked not to disclose too much information. Obviously, they're still unverifiable sources, but for now, all we're getting is these few little screenshots here and there. Very exciting times, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys in the next one.